16 main, third one, antioxidants. That is the part of rancidity. So leave that part. So antioxidants are often added to fat containing food to prevent rancidity.
Ma'am, 10th one also.
Rancidity. That is rancidity and corrosion part I told to leave. So that when you
Okay.
finish, still I need to do that. We are still left with explaining oxidizing agents, reducing agents, and rancidity and corrosion part.
Okay, ma'am.
I need to do that one. So now, any other doubt anyone has?
Ma'am, can you just tell the answers of 7th one? Like the answer, ABCD.
Engineer. Kutta.
State one characteristic each of the chemical reaction which takes place when dilute hydrochloric acid is added to sodium carbonate. So in this case, carbon dioxide is produced. Actually, the next chapter.
So we should write formation of new compound.
Yeah, formation of new compound. Carbon dioxide is produced here.
Okay.
Lemon juice is added gradually to potassium permanganate solution. Lemon juice, it is added. Acid is added to potassium permanganate. It loses color. Its color disappears.
So change in color.
Change in color.
Okay.
Dilute sulfuric acid is added to barium chloride solution. Double displacement reaction takes place. So precipitate is formed because barium sulfate is produced. So precipitate is formed.
Okay.
Quicklime is treated with water. Heat is produced.
Oh, exothermic reaction.
Exothermic reaction. And wax is burned in the form of candle. So it is exothermic. Heat and light is produced. Heat and light is produced.
Okay. So should we write only exothermic reaction?
I have only written heating is produced.
Yeah, heat energy is produced, right? Fine.
Heat and light, both are
Heat
produced.
and light both are produced actually.
Ma'am, how light?
When you burn candle, the light is produced, no?
No, ma'am, not for that. I thought you said for quicklime.
No. E. Last point. Any other doubt?
Ma'am,
Yes?
13.
the ninth question is brown, right?
1 second.
Ninth is due to electrolytic decomposition.
Ninth question
Ma'am.
is why does the color of copper sulfate changes when iron nail is kept immersed in it? Because iron nail being more reactive displaces copper from its solution and forms iron sulfate.
1993.
Why does color they have asked? Why, not what? Clear, Deepika? So you have to write reason.
Yes, ma'am.
That. So why that happens? Because iron being more reactive than copper displaces copper from copper sulfate solution and forms iron sulfate. So blue color copper sulfate changes to green color iron sulfate. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, for the 13th B part, what is the answer, ma'am? Limestone is heated.
Type the chemical reaction, decomposition. It is a decomposition reaction.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, the 13th B part, can it be thermal reaction?
Thermal decomposition.
Okay.
It is a decomposition. Limestone is heated. Calcium carbonate heated strongly. It produces calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, which is a decomposition reaction.
Yes.
I had another doubt.
Yes.
Suppose is there any suppose before the oxidized compound there is any number, should we write the oxidized compound along with the number?
No. Only the name of the compound you have to write, not the formula.
Okay.
You have to write the formula of the compound. Not formula of the compound you are not supposed to write. You have to write the name of the compound.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, pentoxide is P4O10, no, ma'am?
Pentoxide, P2O5. P2O5.
P2O5. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, I had another doubt, but I forgot to ask. So when we like last year's doubt it is actually like when we are doing the valency for carbon and oxygen, it becomes carbon's valency is 4 and oxygen is 2. It's C2O4, but then why is it written as CO2?
Beginning only I told you that is always the atoms combined in a simple whole number ratio. 4 and 2 are this one. They are not in the simplest form. So simplest form will be
Okay, so we
ratio.
take 2 common.
2. Yeah, 2 you have to divide both of them. Right in the simplest form. 4:2. That way simplest form it is 2:1. So 2:1 you have to write. So valencies will remain 2 and 1 and then cross multiply.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Any other doubt anyone has?
Ma'am, could you please upload the science video for the decomposition and the electrolysis we studied that day?
Done already.
You have done, ma'am. Okay.
Electrolysis the day before. No, last class I have uploaded.
Electrolysis was done on Thursday, ma'am.
Yeah, no, that's not. Saturday's video I have uploaded.
Okay, ma'am.
Now you have understood oxidation and reduction reactions.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now the next is oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Oxidizing agents, what is it? Oxidizing agent, and there is another thing which is reducing agent. Now what is the word meaning agent in common life, everyday life? What is the meaning of agent?
Something which carries out a process.
Something which helps the process. This one, LIC agent, broker. We use the word in daily life. One person is helping in for a particular process is called as agents. Like that here, oxidizing agent, that means the agent. Agent here, it is a substance. It can be element or it can be a compound which helps in the process of oxidation. A reaction, this reaction only you will see, this Fe2O3 plus Al forms Al2O3 plus Fe. Now here, which substance is getting oxidized?
Aluminium.
Aluminium is oxidized to form aluminium oxide. For its oxidation, what aluminium has gained or lost?
It has gained O3.
Not O3, it has gained oxygen. So aluminium has gained oxygen. Now how aluminium gained oxygen? Someone oxygen came and attached to aluminium. Has that happened?
No, ma'am.
No. So someone has helped aluminium to gain oxygen. Someone has given oxygen. So who has given oxygen to aluminium?
Iron.
Iron.
Iron oxide. So this iron oxide wants to get reduced. So it don't want oxygen. So that oxygen get binded with aluminium. So this way, when iron oxide has lost oxygen, the same oxygen is gained by aluminium. So here, iron oxide helped aluminium to get oxidized, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So aluminium getting oxidized by oxygen came from iron oxide. So iron oxide is a compound helped aluminium to getting oxidized. So therefore, aluminium oxide has helped. So aluminium oxide is called oxidizing agent. Clear what is oxidizing agent means?
Ma'am, could you repeat?
A substance which helped another substance to getting oxidized is called oxidizing agent. Who is going to
Yes, ma'am.
oxidize? Aluminium. Who has helped aluminium? by donating oxygen. Who has donated oxygen? Iron oxide has donated oxygen. So that means iron oxide helped aluminium to get oxidized. Clear? So therefore, iron oxide is called as oxidizing agent.
So, ma'am, anything which loses oxygen is the oxidizing agent.
Yes. And now what is reducing agent? Reducing agent is the opposite. The agent, that is a substance, any chemical substance which helps in the process of reduction. So in this equation, which is reduced, which compound is reduced?
Iron oxide.
Iron oxide is reduced. Who helped iron oxide to getting reduced?
Aluminium.
Aluminium. So aluminium is reducing agent. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent is a compound, is a substance. Help other substance to get oxidized. By donating oxygen or gaining hydrogen. Oxidizing agent is a substance which helps other substance in getting oxidized, to get oxidized. So another substance is getting oxidized. How? By donating oxygen or gaining hydrogen from that substance. So in simple word, simply a substance which is reduced works as oxidizing agent.
Ma'am, do we like continue it with the definition?
Yeah, this is for your understanding purpose. So that you can understand easily, you can find the substances easily. And reducing agent is a substance which help other substance in getting reduced by gaining oxygen or losing hydrogen. Simply substance which is oxidized works as reducing agent. Computer writing?
No, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Completed, everyone?
No, ma'am, no.
How long? Not write all these equations. Again, I'm writing. So you have to write in all the substance, all these equations, the substance oxidized, substance reduced, oxidizing agent, and reducing agents.
So, ma'am, in a redox reaction, there'll always be an oxidizing and a reduction agent, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is first equation. For this equation, you have to write the substance oxidized, substance reduced, oxidizing agent, and reducing agent. All four names you have to write. So I've done this.
Ma'am, for all we should write the oxidation agent and
Oxidizing agent. Substance oxidized, substance reduced, oxidizing agent, reducing agent.
From
okay,
all
ma'am.
four.
All four you have to write from every equation.
Ma'am, can we write like instead of writing full oxidizing agent, can we write OA for short form or something?
Here you will write in an exam.
Exam I'll write full.
Ma'am, there's only 5.
There are five equations.
Okay, ma'am.
First case, can you tell? Yes, Aishwarya, can you tell about the first case? First equation. Aditya, wait. Aishwarya. Aishwarya will tell all four.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First, substance oxidized.
Oxidized is CuO.
Oxidized. The substance oxidized. What is oxidation means? What do you mean by oxidation? Yes, Aishwarya. Where are you gone? Aditya?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, H2 is oxidized and CuO is reduced.
What is CuO? Name of the compound?
Ma'am, copper, yeah, copper oxygen. Something like
Oxide.
yeah, oxide.
Copper oxide is reduced
Yes,
and hydrogen is oxidized. Oxidizing agent?
oxidizing agent H. Wait, wait.
Oxidizing agent, that means the substance which is reduced. Which one is reduced here?
Ma'am, Cu.
Cu, copper oxide. So
oxide.
copper oxide is the works as a oxidizing agent.
Yes, ma'am.
And reducing agent?
Reducing agent H2.
H2, hydrogen.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to write the names of the compounds. Don't only write the formula. You need to know the names of the compounds.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Deepika, second.
Zinc oxide is reduced and carbon is oxidized. And zinc oxide is an oxidizing agent and carbon is reducing agent.
Very good. Ayush, third one.
Mom, I have a doubt.
One second, that will complete. Ayush, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ayush, in third equation.
Manganese oxide is reduced.
Okay.
I don't know which is oxidized.
Oxidation means?
Gaining of oxygen
Gaining of oxygen or
reducing hydrogen.
losing hydrogen. So
Yeah.
which compound is lost hydrogen or gained oxygen? Anyone?
HCl.
HCl. So
HCl
is oxidized. Which is oxidizing
Ma'am, why
agent?
HCl? Ma'am, can we write hydrogen?
No, there is no hydrogen in the reactant side.
Okay, okay, now I understand.
Now, which is oxidizing agent here?
Manganese oxide.
Yes, manganese dioxide.
Yes.
And which is reducing agent? Which is a reducing agent here?
HCl.
HCl is reduced.
Mom, how is HCl reduced, mom?
HCl is oxidized, so works as reducing agent.
Mom, it is being oxidized. That's why it is reducing agent.
Yeah, reducing agent because it helps in reduction of MnO2 by gaining oxygen.
Okay, mom.
Next, Vijay, fourth one. Vijay, are you there? Vijay, are you there? I will mark absent then. Vijay, are you there? No. Prithvi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, fourth one.
Ma'am, zinc oxide is reduced and
No, fourth one.
okay. Iron.
Substance oxidized. Which is a substance oxidized?
Ma'am, oxidized is aluminium.
Aluminium is oxidized, okay. And the substance reduced?
Iron oxide.
Iron oxide, okay. And this one, oxidizing agent?
Aluminium.
Aluminium is getting oxidized, so how it will become oxidizing agent? The substance which is oxidized works as reducing agent. And the substance which is reduced works as oxidizing agent.
Okay, iron.
So which one is oxidizing agent?
Ma'am, is it iron?
No, iron. Iron is formed after the product. It is as a product side. It is which one? Iron oxide. Iron oxide is reduced, not iron. Iron is not reduced. Iron oxide is reduced, right?
Yes.
So that means iron oxide is a reducing agent. It is itself get reduced, so it works as a oxidizing agent.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? And which is oxidized here? Aluminium is oxidized. So it works as
Reducing agent.
reducing agent. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Parush, fifth one, can you tell?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, which substance is oxidized?
I'm not sure.
We have done this question last class. What is the condition to get say that
Metal.
object is oxidized?
Metal.
One second. Yes, Parush.
Ma'am, the substance should gain oxygen.
Gain oxygen or another condition. What is the other condition to say that substance is oxidized?
Ma'am, hydrogen should be removed.
Hydrogen should be removed. So any of the compound is removing hydrogen?
Yes, ma'am, sulfur.
Sulfur? Again, you people are confusing. Not sulfur. Which substance is removing hydrogen from itself?
Chlorine.
Removing
H2S.
hydrogen. H2S is removed hydrogen and left with sulfur. So H2S has lost hydrogen.
Okay.
Therefore, H2S is oxidized. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And which is here reduced?
Ma'am, chlorine.
Chlorine is reduced because it has gained hydrogen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what is the oxidizing and reducing agents here?
Ma'am, for H2S, the reducing agent is
Here, who is oxidized? In this case, oxidized is
H2S is oxidized.
H2S. And which is reduced?
Chlorine.
What is happening? Nothing?
What is the sixth question?
No, nothing. Reduced is chlorine gas. Now, which one will work as oxidizing agent? Which will work as oxidizing agent?
Chlorine.
Chlorine. Whichever reduced, that will work as oxidizing. Reduced is works as oxidizing agent.
Yes, ma'am.
And reducing agent?
H2S.
That's right. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am. So the oxidizing agent will be the same as the substance that's being reduced.
Yes. Both oxidize and reduce, if you found out, then after that you can reverse is the oxidizing and reducing agent always.
Okay, ma'am.
Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No, it is clear. Now, one activity given in your textbook about copper, and most of the time that question will be asked. So remember one of the equation which is used as a explanation for redox reaction. So first is whenever a copper, which is a shiny brown color, copper initially has a shiny brown color. When it is heated strongly, Cu. What is happening? Cu, when heated strongly, it reacts with oxygen. So that means after heating, when copper heated within air, that means it reacts with atmospheric oxygen and it forms, it gets coated. Full copper could not get converted chemically. It's getting coated with black color copper oxide. So copper oxide is formed, which is black in color. So initially copper is shiny brown colored, and finally after heating it is getting coated with a black color copper oxide. So black color compound, whenever it is there in your question, that time you have to remember black color is a copper oxide, and this is shiny brown color. Copper is a shiny brown color substance. Okay, now we can regain back the shiny brown color from black color copper oxide. So from black color copper oxide, we can regain back the copper value, copper. So how it is done? So that is by through copper oxide, hot black copper oxide. This should be heated. So already like this, it has to be heated. It is a hot and black color substance. It when hydrogen gas is passed through copper oxide. So we have to pass hydrogen gas through copper oxide. Then it will convert back to copper and water vapors evolves out. So this is in the gaseous state,
Ma'am,
evolves
just
out.
one thing. I didn't understand by how are we supposed to, use the hydrogen in this case?
Hydrogen is passed over copper oxide. So there is a container in a horizontally, we have to keep a test tube. We have to keep heating copper oxide. Copper is there. So I will show you that diagram, experimental diagram. I will show you one second. Textbook. Sulfate.
Second reaction, H2O gas is water vapor.
Yeah, that is a water vapor produced.
And what is hot black?
Copper oxide should be hot, means it is should be heated, and then hydrogen gas is passed.
So it's hot, comma
And
black.
ma'am, the upper layer
Comma
again
black in
changes to
color.
the original shiny brown
Original
color.
shiny brown color, yes.
Do we write it right now?
One second, wait, I'm showing you the experimental setup given in your textbook. So that is you can understand, that is important. That is not properly given, only this is heated. It is in my textbook, it is in my book, you can check, it is given there. So similar to this kind of experimental setup, it is not proper, but somehow it's okay. It is not given anywhere. So in this container, we have to take copper first. That we have to keep heating. Copper turnings are possible. Copper fillings, very small copper. These are wire-like structures are there. Those has to be taken in this test tube, and it need to be heated. So we will see that brown color. You are able to see the diagram, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when we heat it, that slowly that copper, shiny brown color copper getting converted into black color, right? Because copper oxide is produced. Then that copper oxide through this vessel, here is a tube, through that bent tube, we have to pass hydrogen gas. This is heated copper oxide. We have to pass hydrogen gas over it. And then here we can see the water vapors are forming. So these water vapors moves out from this area, and then copper oxide converted back to copper. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this way, the from copper oxide, we can get back the copper. So both the equations are very important.
Ma'am, what's a lump of fire lighter?
They have given it for the heat. It should be heated. That's what we.
Okay, ma'am.
This was this is not exactly what I want to explain you, but they have given this. It is not given in your textbook also. It was for iron turnings they have given. Okay, clear this equation? Question based on these two equations are asked every time. Most of the time they have asked the question. So now write down that. No, don't draw. Not today.
Ma'am, what will be the questions asked based on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm showing you. It is given in the same questions which you have started solving in that CBSE questions. The question might be there. Check. Search this place.
Ma'am, CBSE board questions?
Yeah, CBSE board questions.
Ma'am, in the question that you gave, ma'am, how to obtain shiny brown color back from the above reaction, ma'am.
Yeah.
We'll have to even explain the equation after writing it.
Yes, you have to explain.
Okay, ma'am. So is it enough to just write that if you heat copper oxide and then
Pass hydrogen gas.
hydrogen through it, then you will get
Yes.
the shiny brown color, which is copper back.
Yes, right. Question asked this year, it is, see, 2020 paper, they have asked this question. 1 gram of copper powder was taken in a china dish and heated. What change takes place on heating? When hydrogen gas is passed over this heated substance, a visible change is seen in it. Give the chemical equations for reactions, the name and the color of the product formed in each case. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Now this carries 3 marks. Now tell me the bifurcation. How the 3 marks will be bifurcated here? Can anyone?
Ma'am, the first one will be what change takes place on heating. For 1 mark, and then when hydrogen gas is passed over this heated substance, a visible change is seen in it. And give the chemical equation. This will be for 2 marks mostly.
No. Again, there are some few more questions in that. Check. Actually, totally there are 6 questions. So you need to
Ma'am,
write 6
first,
answers.
oh, 6 answers, ma'am.
6 questions are there. And that much only 3 lines, there are 6 questions. Tell me what are those? All carries half of marks.
And one can be give the chemical equation of the reaction, and the name is another question, and the color of the product formed in each case is another question.
Yes.
And ma'am,
Color
what
of
change?
the product.
And
Yes,
the
ma'am.
visible
Color
change
change,
seen in it,
visible
ma'am.
changes in both of them.
And
So
the
you-
first sentence.
Yes. So here they have asked you three questions for both of them. First is what change takes place on heating. So when you heat a copper powder, what you can see the change? Black color copper oxide is produced, right? That is one answer. When hydrogen gas is passed over this heated substance, a visible change is seen in it. What is the change? The black color copper oxide converted back to copper.
Ma'am, the brownish
Black
substance.
color gets converted back to brown color. Give the chemical equations of the reaction. So both the reactions just now I've given you top, those you have to write. The name and the color of the product form. So name of the product in the first equation, a product is copper oxide. And here the word used name, and most of the students lose mark because they write CuO. So why they lose marks? They have written CuO. Then why they are losing marks for that?
Ma'am, they are asking the name of the compound.
They are asking name of the compound. So, yeah.
So we should write it completely.
Yes, full name of the substance, you have to write copper oxide. And the color of the product, in the first case, it is black color compound. And in the second equation, brown color copper. Clear? So only this one line, that many answers are there, and you have to write each and everything carries marks. Yes.
Ma'am, so when copper is heated strongly, it turns into copper oxide, which is black. And now when that is again heated, it again turns back to copper, right?
When heated, after passing hydrogen gas.
Okay, ma'am.
After passing hydrogen gas over heated copper oxide, the copper will turn back. Then this copper oxide gets converted into copper.
Okay, ma'am.
Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Everyone, is the answer clear for this equation?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, do we need to draw the diagram for that question? No.
No, not needed. Okay, this is only for your reference. I've shown that.
So,
Clear,
ma'am, we
everyone,
don't
yeah?
need to learn the diagram given in the textbook also.
Some of them are needed, some of them are not. So I will
Okay,
tell you
ma'am.
whichever are important.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, these are all the chemical equations, chemical types of chemical reactions. So what are the types of chemical reactions you have seen? First one is exothermic and endothermic reactions.
Combination reactions.
Combination reactions. Then
Double displacement.
in sequence. Try to remember in sequence of the chapter.
Ma'am, first was the
Combination reaction.
combination reaction, then
Second
came
one
the
is
decompositions.
decomposition.
Then after that, we learned about
Displacement and then double displacement.
displacement, double displacement, and
Double
redox.
Oxidation and reducing.
Reduction.
Ma'am,
Oxidation.
redox is not a part of the chemical reaction.
Redox reaction is a type of reaction in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously.
So it is not a separate classification.
That is the same, oxidation and reduction together.
Yes, ma'am.
It's redox. Redox name itself RED for reduction, OX for oxidation.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the next part of the chapter, there is oxidation in everyday
Ma'am?
life. Yes.
And what about precipitate reaction?
Precipitation is a part of displacement.
Okay.
Okay, now we have to learn the everyday life chemical reactions happening in our surrounding. That is, one is corrosion and the second one is rancidity. Now, what do you mean by corrosion? You have learned many times till now. Now, in lower classes, you have learned about the corrosion. Do you know anyone what do you mean by corrosion?
Is it rusting, ma'am?
Yes, one of the example of corrosion is rusting of iron.
Damaging of any metal.
Yes. So
When
corrosion
it is in contact with moisture.
Yeah,
by water
whenever
vapor.
yeah. So whenever any metal comes in contact with atmospheric gases, so what are those gases? Might be oxygen, water vapors, that is moisture, carbon dioxide, sometimes H2S gas, or sometimes oxides of sulfur. So when these gases easily combine with some of the metals, which are reactive metals, and convert them into useless forms. So convert them into some compounds. We are prepared a material, a tool, a machine, an object. We need metal there, but slowly that metal gets converted into its compound form. So will the properties of the metal and that metal compound remain same?
No, ma'am.
No, it will completely change. So therefore that substance is now become useless. Just like you see the example of rusting of iron. So in that the pure paper, this one iron almirah we have prepared, or iron chair is already we were using iron chair, and slowly if it is not painted properly, then it get corroded, that is it get rusted. So over the iron chair the rust is formed. The property of rust and property of iron are same?
No, ma'am.
No, they are not same. Iron has very strong, very high tensile strength, and that iron, that rust, which is an iron oxide, which is completely brittle. Easily we can break them with our fingers only. We can break it. So the chair loses tensile strength. Strength means after when we sit in that rusted chair, we will fall. So that means it has lost completely its strength. So due to that, that chair becomes useless. That iron metal is now become useless because of the formation of rust. So this process of conversion of metal into any metal compounds when exposed to air, atmospheric gases, it's called as corrosion process. Able to understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
So eating up of a proper definition is eating, EAT, not heating. It's eating up of a metal when it is exposed to atmospheric gases like oxygen, moisture, carbon dioxide, oxides of sulfur, etc., and gets converted into oxides or hydroxides or carbonates, etc. That process is called as corrosion. So rusting of iron is one of the example of corrosion. Okay. So the process of eating up. Yes.
Can we say wearing away of the metal?
Yeah, wearing away of the metal. Yes. Instead of eating, you can use wearing away. Of metal when it is exposed to atmospheric gases like oxygen, moisture, carbon dioxide, H2S, etc. and converted to, just a sec. First is rusting of iron is one of the well-known corrosion.
Ma'am,
Yes.
is pouring acid on top of any metal known as corrosion? Acid or anything chemical?
Yes, with acids also.
Okay.
Acid, bases, not only atmospheric gases, acids also, bases also.
Ma'am, which is the most corrosive acid?
H2SO4. No, highly considered as HCl.
Okay, ma'am. So it could.
Hydrochloride acid.
Hydrochloric acid, yeah.
Ma'am, is like digestion of food also corrosion because an acid like ma'am eats up the food.
Food it's this one. It won't eat up the food. It makes it won't helps in any process of reaction is not happening there. Food and the HCl is not reacting.
But ma'am,
It's not digesting metal.
The digestion is done by enzymes, not HCl.
Ma'am, we use the word corrosion mainly for metals, right?
Yeah, mostly for metals, only for metals.
It is not a property of non-metals.
No. Because non-metals are not in the solid state. And they generally are least reactive.
So, ma'am, if anything is in solid state, then it can undergo corrosion, right?
Yes.
Even if it's a non-metal.
Yes, it can be. Corrosion, we don't use a word for that.
Okay, that has a different word, but the
Different
process is same, right?
Yes. Okay, so first example is rusting of iron. Iron, when exposed to moisture and oxygen both. For rusting of iron, both the conditions are necessary. That is, one, iron needs oxygen as well as it needs moisture. If both of them are available, then only the rusting will take place. Rusting means formation of rust. The iron gets converted into ferric oxide. That is a rust.
Ma'am, I have a question over here.
Yes.
Ma'am, so even if I expose iron to steam and oxygen at the same time, but I put the steam under high pressures and expose it to iron, so will it speed up the process?
Yes, it will speed up the process.
Ma'am, since oxidation agents and reducing agents speed up the process, are they
won't
called
speed up the
catalysts?
process. They are not speeding up any process.
Okay, ma'am. So if any substance or any chemical is speeding up a process,
those are catalysts.
okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, but the catalysts do not involve themselves in the reaction, right?
Reaction, yeah.
Ma'am, if I'm adding iron into water, will it rust?
No.
It won't.
No. Now this rust is flaky substance, non-sticky substance, so easily get removed from the iron metal, and slowly iron, that layer will remove. Then next iron will come in contact with moisture and oxygen, again get rusted, then that layer will be removed. So layer by layer, removal of that iron will keep on happening. And finally, that container or the object which is made from iron will completely break into pieces. So therefore, rusting of iron is disadvantageous, or there is a demerit using iron metal for that. Okay, now here equation for this iron react with moisture and oxygen both. This is not balanced, and forms Fe2O3 dot XH2O. That means any molecule of water. It don't have any fixed molecule of water, any number of water. So it will come XH2O.
Ma'am, I didn't understand that part.
Why is
Any
it
molecule. So that is water of crystallization. I have explained you earlier.
Yes, ma'am. Last year.
So crystals, iron oxide is in the form of crystalline structure. So that crystals are formed by the attachment of water molecule. And that water molecule don't have fixed molecules. So any number of water molecules fixed to the iron oxide and give its crystal form.
Okay. Ma'am, I have another doubt. Ma'am, when a normal piece of iron pierces our skin, we don't get any infection. But when a rusted iron pierces our skin, we get infection. Why is
Because
that?
the rusted iron oxide easily react with some other skin cells. And there is an infection will start happening, and that infection is infectious. It will keep on increasing inside the cell.
So is it very risky?
Yes, very, 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 very risky. Therefore,
Okay.
immediately it is 6 monthly. They have told already, doctors have prescribed that is once in a year, tetanus injection has to be taken because tetanus will start spreading because of it.
Ma'am, what harm does tetanus usually cause?
Blood capacity, that is one. The hemoglobin will not be sufficient amount of hemoglobin will not be there.
Okay, ma'am.
So this is the reaction. So iron, when exposed to atmosphere, it reacts with, it needs both oxygen and water. Then it reacts them together with them and converted into rust. So that rust is flaky substance, non-sticky substance. So it won't stick to the metal. So the layer, that layer gets converted into rust, that rust gets removed. Now what happens? The next layer will come in contact with moisture and oxygen and again keep rusting. So this process continues, and that full area, you will see the hole in that area. So this way, many iron articles, we use iron at many places and they get rusted, and there is a huge loss the person or a government has to incur, because there are much more kabaddi you can see made up of iron, and that remain useless after that.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can rusted iron be again melted to form another things?
That was the problem. No, cannot be. Iron oxide cannot be regained back to iron, converted back to iron. It cannot be recycled back to iron.
So this is a permanent change.
It's
No
a
other
permanent
effect
change.
can reverse it like
No,
that.
no, it cannot be reverted back.
Ma'am, is there any way we can create iron except from nature?
No.
Ma'am, so it's very limited resource.
Yes, it's limited, but there is abundant of iron is present in the air, in the atmosphere.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
Nature earth crust. Second most abundant metal in the earth crust. So now how to prevent?
The day iron deposits get over, there will be no iron.
Then no iron.
Ma'am, what if it's depleting, ma'am, then?
Yeah, that's what. Then no iron. Then we have to find out other this one substitute for that.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, therefore, it is need of prevention. So prevention of rusting is very, very important. How can we prevent the rusting process?
Galvanization.
Okay.
Painting.
Third will come galvanization. Simple ways are painting.
Applying oil helps.
Second one, that is greasing. Painting and greasing are the most common ways used. The articles are painted, so that is due to the paint, oxygen or oil contact. This one, water contact will not be there, so it will prevent the rust. Greasing, it is generally used for machine parts. Machine parts are greased every time, so that machine parts we can't paint because the paint cover layer will keep on removing due to the movable parts of the machine. So therefore, instead of painting, we use greasing. Greasing is the mixture of graphite and oil. So oil and graphites are present, which works as a lubricating agent also. And as well as due to the layer of oil, the moisture contact will not be there. So the machine parts will not get affected by moisture due to the layer of oil. So this way greasing can prevent rusting of machine parts. Third is galvanization. Galvanization, that means coating of iron with zinc. More reactive, zinc is more reactive. So therefore, when iron article is coated with zinc, so whenever oxygen or moisture, they react, they will come in contact with this, that article, that object, it will first react with zinc because zinc is more reactive than iron. So therefore, zinc will be reactive and iron will be left back. So it will not react. The next is tin plating, chromium plating. We can
Ma'am,
do.
this rusting of iron is a redox reaction, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, ma'am.
And ma'am, is
Yeah.
alloys a way?
Alloys are?
Prevention.
Yes, the fifth method is alloying.
Ma'am, but
Electroplating
you
with
said
tin or
anything
chroma.
in solid
Sorry.
state will undergo corrosion, right?
Yeah.
So
Because
if an alloy is in
chroma.
solid
Wait. I forgot the name. Let me write first. Chromium. I'm reading
Ma'am, it's
chromatin.
chromium.
Chromium it is. That's what I told. I was writing something else. Chromium plating. So iron tin plating or chromium plating is done. Electroplating has been done, just like galvanization. The reaction of iron will be prevented by use of chromium or tin over it. And alloying that means mixing of iron with some other metals in it. So that is in alloy generally, in iron generally carbon is
So
added.
if there is,
When in iron carbon is added, that we call as normal steel or carbon steel. Nickel steel is there, chromium steel is available, and then stainless steel is available. Out of that, stainless steel is completely corrosion free. Stainless steel, which is alloy of iron, nickel, cobalt, and carbon. So when these four added, stainless steel is prepared. So that stainless steel is completely corrosion free. So alloying is one of the method of prevention of rusting of iron. It's clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
ma'am, so if there is a small scratch on these platings of tin or chromium, the whole iron starts rusting, right?
No.
Ma'am,
No?
No.
Oh.
Here, now that was the
Okay,
next
ma'am.
question. If there is zinc plating, galvanized iron article, if you take it, one of the layer is due to scratching or any one of the layer of zinc is get removed, then also iron won't undergo rusting. Can you tell why?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Galvanized iron article is there, and one of the side, that galvanized part, that zinc part get removed. One area, not fully. Some of the area that zinc coating has get removed. In that case also, that iron article won't get rusted.
Ma'am, because the rest of the part is galvanized.
So what will happen? One layer is that one part, one area is exposed, right? So one
Ma'am,
part of the
I
iron.
guess zinc already reacted with the iron, and even if one layer is moved, properties of zinc is still there.
No, it won't react. Zinc and iron are not reactive. Here the on the iron, zinc is coated. There is no reaction between iron and zinc possible. Why this is happening? Yes.
Just a rough guess.
Hmm.
I think the iron in that area or the first layer of iron has become stable or something.
No. Here
Ma'am,
now,
is it because coated things can't be removed?
if it is, that can be removed, no problem. That can get removed. Suppose this is a rod which is getting coated with iron like this, zinc. Like this much, fully it is getting coated to this much thickness. After that, in this area, there is a removal of that coating. This coating get removed. and it is exposed. Now this iron is exposed outside. Now what will happen when the oxygen comes in contact? Oxygen and moisture try to contact with this iron, which is exposed to oxygen, exposed to air. So at that time, this oxygen will see iron and will see zinc. Now reaction is what? The reaction of losing electrons. Metals have the property of losing electrons. So oxygen, when the chemical reaction between oxygen or moisture and iron, that means the iron metal is losing electrons to oxygen. So that is what the chemical reaction is happening. So when suppose oxygen gas comes in contact, now there is a zinc near that scratched area. That exposed area has iron and the remaining area has zinc, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes,
that
ma'am.
now out of iron and zinc, which is more reactive?
Zinc is more reactive.
Zinc is more reactive. So who will lose electron more quicker?
Zinc.
Zinc. So oxygen comes there. It wants to react. That means it actually needs electron. And who is giving electron very quickly?
Zinc.
Zinc is
Zinc will
giving.
give.
So zinc is reacting with oxygen, not iron.
So ma'am, what will happen to the zinc?
Zinc will react with oxygen from zinc oxide.
Ma'am, if there is a metal which is less reactive than iron, and that is
Copper.
yes, ma'am. So if an iron nail is coated with copper, and then
it is iron. No one can save iron.
okay, ma'am.
Right? Clear the method of prevention?
Ma'am, then in that case, ma'am, why don't they just galvanize a small portion of that iron and then they just leave it like that?
For long lasting. When full zinc is get converted into oxygen, then what will happen? No
Then
zinc is left
we
out.
will galvanize it again.
So it has to be galvanized. So that's what it's repetition. So if you only some area is coated, then repetition has to be done in a shorter duration over time.
Yes.
Okay, clear everyone? The rusting process.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
The next will happen with the this will also other metals also. So that is with copper. So that we call as tarnishing of copper. So copper vessel, you will see when you bring it, purchase it, it is completely shiny brown color. But after some days, it color changes to greenish coating we can see over it. Right? Have you seen?
Ma'am, like Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty made up of copper?
Yes, ma'am.
Fully?
Yes, ma'am.
It's fully made up of copper, ma'am, but over the years it has reacted again and again to form that green good coating layer.
So this one, can you see?
Ma'am,
don't
this
see
is a
after
method
and
of
before.
prevention.
Don't, yeah. No, not method of prevention. Second type of corrosion.
Yes, ma'am.
This is, don't see this before and after. This is the before and this is the after condition. So when you purchase a metal, this is looks like this. It has a much more shine and it is brown in color. Over the years, when after the month, if we leave it as it is without cleaning, then it get turned into this color. So this is, you can see the greenish coating. So that greenish coat is formed because of the reaction with atmospheric carbon dioxide. The copper gets converted to copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. When it exposed to air, it combines with carbon dioxide and moisture, and therefore gets converted into compounds of copper, which is, and due to which the green coating is formed over the article metal compound. Right? So this is what we call as tarnishing of copper. So copper combines with atmospheric carbon dioxide and moisture and forms, it won't react with oxygen easily, it reacts with carbon dioxide easily. So it will form copper carbonate and copper hydroxide, which are greenish in color. So greenish coating is due to the formation of these two compounds. And these two compounds are basic in nature. The nature of these compounds is basic, and therefore we use citric, lemon, or tamarind to clean it. So if these vessels can be cleaned easily with tamarind or lemon juice, and then it will regain back this color. But although it is regained back, actually what happened, the mass is reduced because this layer which is formed, copper carbonate and copper hydroxide is formed, that layer getting removed. It's got removed from the surface. And whatever the next layer you are able to see, the shiny brown layer you are able to see, that is the lower layer. The one layer has already washed away. So therefore tarnishing again, it is non-beneficial for copper. Able to understand?
Yes,
And what were the two methods to
Yes,
obtain back copper?
Not copper obtain, no, that layer is removed. We won't get the same copper back. That layer, this green coat has been removed by using acidic substances, mild acids like lemon juice we can use, or tamarind is used in our house.
To only remove the greenish.
Only you remove this grain layer. We can't convert back the same copper. We won't get back. So layer by layer, every year when you see this is after some year, you can see the hole in these containers or breakage in this container due to the removal of copper layer. Because every time we wash, every new layer of copper getting washed away. It gets washed away. So whatever this shiny brown you got it here, after cleaning this, it has lesser mass as compared to this.
Yes,
Clear?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So copper particles get corroded due to atmospheric carbon dioxide and moisture. They form green coating, which is of copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. And these compounds are basic in nature. Therefore, this can be removed by rubbing with acids, mild acids. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So write down green coating over copper containers. That is called tarnishing. Completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Now next is tarnishing of silver articles.
Ma'am, can you once scroll up? Yes, ma'am, done.
Tarnishing of silver. You have seen silver jewelry turns blackish in color, right? After some days use, silver containers in kitchen we use it sometime, and silver jewelry which we use it, generic girls use it, it turns black. So that is what the corrosion of silver, tarnishing of silver. Silver articles, silver turns black due to the formation of silver sulfide. Silver gets black in color due to the formation of silver sulfide. Silver turns black due to formation of silver sulfide. which is Ag combines with H2S gas of the atmosphere, form Ag2S plus hydrogen gas evolves out. So this silver sulfide is black in color. So that coating of black color on the silver kind of jewelry, it is silver sulfide.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I was just thinking, if any metal is exposed to atmospheric gases, but high
Hydro-
electric currents are passed through that metal, so will it react
Yes, it will.
and form rust?
Possible, yes, because temperature is large amount of temperature is good for any chemical reaction to take place.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, but how will it rust, ma'am?
Rusting is only for iron.
Like,
yes, ma'am.
How will it undergo corrosion?
Will it corrode?
Corrosion means reaction with any substance and converting into any compound. Now that compound is useful for us.
So it is not necessary that it should react with an atmospheric gas.
It can react with acid base and become useless. But now next example I will tell you, then you will confuse again. Now every corrosion is not bad. So right now you are seeing copper, silver and iron are bad for those metals. So those articles become dull, lose their shine and become useless after some days, or holes are formed, they will break. That might happen. So it will be always disadvantageous. It will not be beneficial. It is bad. But in one of the metal, actual corrosion is good for it. And now we have started doing that intentionally. That is a metal, it is aluminium. Aluminium is reactive metal, so easily it reacts with atmospheric oxygen and loses its luster. So initial aluminium containers which we purchase, those are very much shine, mirror like it shines. But after some days it will become dull. That happens because of the formation of aluminium oxide. Just like iron loses its luster and form iron oxide, like that aluminium also combines with oxygen and form aluminium oxide. But when one good thing is there with the aluminium oxide is that aluminium oxide stick to the metal. It remains stick to the metal and form a blanket over the metal. So once the aluminium oxide layer is formed, further oxygen and aluminium reaction is completely prevented. So further corrosion won't take place. Able to understand this point?
Ma'am, that develops over the aluminium
container. Now if you see, this is a bottle which is made up of aluminium, right? After that, this upper layer exposed to air combines with oxygen and form aluminium oxide layer fully. So it's completely get coated with aluminium oxide layer. Now what happens, that aluminium oxide remains stick to the metal. Just like iron oxide is prepared, formed. What happens? Will it stick to the metal?
No, ma'am, it will eventually fall.
Eventually falls down. So when this falls down, that layer of aluminium iron oxide falls down, what happens? Now further layer of iron comes in contact with the oxygen and moisture.
So
that aluminium iron oxide has been removed. So now further it is the iron again. So that iron will react with oxygen and moisture and again convert back to rust. So this process will keep on happening.
Yes, ma'am.
So eventually that area will break because iron is not there. But in case of aluminium, what happens? Aluminium oxide is produced and that aluminium oxide stick to the metal. So it above one layer of aluminium oxide is present and below that layer, there is a aluminium layer is present, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that aluminium oxide remains stick to the metal and form a blanket-like structure so that oxygen and the lower aluminium won't comes in contact. So further corrosion won't take place.
Ma'am, then why don't we use aluminium instead of iron in places which are required to?
Because whatever the tensile strength iron has, aluminium don't have.
Ma'am,
When
is
you
there
put
any
on
metal?
load, you can, it will break. Aluminium. Aluminium will bend or break easily.
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, is there any metal which does not react with atmosphere at all?
Gold, platinum.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So
Ma'am,
aluminium. So
they still
therefore,
have valencies, right?
they have, but they have react with some peculiar substances. Atmospheric gases, they won't react at all.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
sorry,
what
ma'am.
is this property called?
Which one? No, which property?
The gold and platinum possess.
That property we don't call it as. They are chemically inert, so they are called inert metals. Gold and platinum are called inert metals. Noble metals.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So aluminium, now what happened? This property of aluminium we got to know, that is once the oxide layer is formed, further corrosion is completely prevented. For this purpose, nowadays we get the containers, kitchen containers, anodized kitchen containers, anodized cooker, anodized kadai. Have you heard the word?
Type of.
Anodized.
Yes, ma'am.
So anodized, that means it is already aluminium metal is coated with thick layer of aluminium oxide. So even aluminium is present below and the layer of that is already coated with aluminium oxide layer intentionally by electroplating. So that is why to wait for naturally happening aluminium oxide forming aluminium oxide, and then it is prevent rusting, corrosion will be prevented. So initially only when the article is come into the, they have manufactured the article, they coat that aluminium with aluminium oxide layer, thick coating of aluminium oxide layer. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is aluminium. The corrosion of aluminium is beneficial once, because it naturally corrodes once. After that, complete corrosion will be prevented. Most of the cookers are there, anodized cookers are available. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Corrosion you have seen, example, rusting of iron, tarnishing of copper, tarnishing of silver, and lastly, the corrosion of aluminium, which is beneficial. Clear these examples?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, any other? What? Someone wants to ask, read out?
No, ma'am, nothing.
Then last very small point of the chapter left out, that is rancidity. Only I will explain that and we will leave that one. It is not big part. So rancidity means what? Rancidity means, now here what you have seen, corrosion of metals you have seen. So in food also, there is some, this one, particles are present. Particles, that is a compounds, which we call as fats and oils. Every food, the food whichever consists of fats and oils, they undergo oxidation. So that is,
And this is under corrosion, right?
yeah, it is spoilage. The food gets spoiled.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is called as rancidity. The spoilage of food takes place due to oxidation of fats and oils present in the food. Give me a second.
So, ma'am, if any food does not have fats and oil, then it won't undergo rancidity.
Yeah, it won't. So here the oxidation of fats and oils present in the food takes place, due to which that food gets spoiled and it gives out bad taste and bad odor. So this process is called as rancidity. You can see when you take a lunch to the one day to school, and you might that day you forgot to take out the lunch from your bag, and next day when you open, what happens?
It
The food is
rots.
spoiled.
It starts stinking. This is very bad smell is coming out of that container, right?
It rots.
So that is what we call as rancidity. That is, the food turns rancid. So fats and oils present in the food gets oxidized, and due to that it gives out bad taste and bad smell. That is called as rancidity. Clear? And then how to prevent it? How to prevent the rancidity?
By not adding fats and oils.
Mom, inert gases.
It's not possible.
Ma'am, by putting antioxidants or using inert gases or freezing that item.
So one thing we can that's storing those substances. If they are the dry substances, then those can be stored under airtight containers. So air will not be available. So no no oxidation will take place. Then we can store some food by vacuum packing. We have seen dates. Dates are generally vacuum packed. So vacuum packing is 2 minutes. So vacuum packing. So by vacuum packing, that means a full air has been taken out. Full air is removed from the container, or that's plastic in which you are storing the food. So when full air is taken out, so it is completely vacuum. That is what we call as vacuum pack. So vacuum pack, that means no air is available. No air available, no oxidation will take place. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Then third one is by adding some chemicals, which we call as antioxidants. They won't allow the oxygen, the substance to react with oxygen. That is by adding antioxidants. Chips packets, you have seen how are they stored? They're huge size. They are flushed with nitrogen gas. So the chips packets or any oily substances generally flushed with nitrogen gas. Why nitrogen gas? Because nitrogen, actually it is inert at room temperature. So at room temperature, nitrogen gas do not react chemically, does not undergo any chemical reaction. Therefore, it won't react with the food, and as well as due to presence of nitrogen, oxygen will not be there, and therefore oxidation won't take place. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
These are the 4 methods, and one method which is actually won't prevent oxidation, but it will slow down the process. That is refrigeration. By refrigerating the food, we actually won't prevent the oxidation process. We generally do only, we can reduce the process, so slows down the process. Instead of the food gets spoiled in one day, inside fridge, it might be saved for 4 to 5 more days. So it is only slowing down the process. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is what. So we'll discuss this and write down this next class. Right now you can leave.
Mom?
Yeah.
Mom, some people to make their voice lighter, they use helium gas, right, ma'am?
Helium gas is used.
Ma'am, and to make the voice deeper, some people use sulfur hexafluoride. So for hexafluoride, what is the chemical like compound?
F6.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
I just had a question out of curiosity.
Yes.
Ma'am, when they are constructing different satellites or any other rovers being sent in outer space, they usually coat it with gold. Why is that?
To make it chemically, we don't know outside which atmosphere is there. So,
okay, so basically to make it chemically
inert. We don't know when it is going. So which type of gases are there? Any gas, if it is going to some particular area, they don't know which gas is present in that or which type of a chemical that spacecraft is touching. They don't know anything. So they are taking the substance, which is, and it is lighter, and it can be another many properties gold has. One is it is chemically unreactive, that is completely noble. Second thing, it is lighter. Third thing, it is malleable, easy to make the aircrafts with that. And most of all, important properties are chemical inertness.
Mom?
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, what's the equation for corrosion of aluminium?
Aluminium combines with oxygen, form aluminium oxide.
Okay.
Yes, who are leaving the classes without informing me?
Ma'am, can we leave?
Yes, you can leave now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Close 6
Thank you,
o'clock.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.